Alright. What's going on, ladies and gentlefolk? We've got SERRAL in the top left side of the map, Classic in the bottom left, and it is day 2 of our EWC coverage. It is the group stage, guys. It's a best of 5, and this is the first match they've played since actually Dallas. Classic beat SERRAL, I think 3-1, right, guys? And it was actually this exact map where it looked like SERRAL was doing okay, and then Classic came and was harassing him over here, right? SERRAL was trying to defend this base, and then Classic's mothership drove in, recalled the army to the high ground, wiped out the whole main, killed a ton of stuff, and then recalled home. And that was really the beginning of the end. Even though it took another 20 minutes or so for Classic to wear him down, removing all the tech, resetting the tech, and removing so much map control and just resources from SERRAL was really big. That being said, one of the big things and the features throughout the series, multiple people commented on, and I'd noticed it as well, is the fungals were, not the fungals, but the infestors just weren't landing their spells quite as good. I don't know if you guys noticed this or not. They were kind of, they were getting feedbacked. And his infestors were running forward and getting feedbacked at a prodigious rate. His Vipers as well. It felt like Classic was really on point with his spellcaster usage, but also SERRAL was a little sloppy in that regard. Now, there is a big weakness Classic has if we go to late game again here on Persephone, and that is the fact, as he does some very annoying probe harassment, very standard opening at home, Nexus into Cybercore. Classic doesn't defend multi-prong amazingly. He's okay at it, but SERRAL is one of the secrets to his late game PvZ is he'll constantly split off packs of Ravagers, Ling Bane, and just smash into your expansions. And even if you've got a few cannons there or an Archon, he'll surround him and just kill him. And that's something where Classic has shown a refusal to split his army to deal with it, because he prioritizes having one big scary army on the front kind of pinning the Zerg, but that means he gives up the mobility and the ability to cover multiple areas, so his bases keep getting sniped by SERRAL in all their matches, even when he beat him at Dallas. And it's really hard for him to establish a 6th base, a 7th base, and to keep those bases up and mining. And that's something where I think if SERRAL can keep on, basically punishing the fact that Classic wants to keep his whole army together, doesn't want to risk splitting his army up and getting it isolated and separated and, having his units picked apart piecemeal, dived by the corruptors or anything like that, right? He doesn't want to have a few carriers caught out on their own. I think SERRAL can win the efficiency in the long run by grinding Classic down, but he needs to do a much better job of keeping his spellcasters alive, maintaining them, and dealing with glaive depth pressure. Because that's the other thing, which was giving Classic good advantages in that last series with SERRAL. His glaive depth timings were so good. And that's what he's done that to everyone. Classic has been destroying so many Zergs with glaive depth timings. A lot of the Zergs, like for a while there, Dark and Rogue were skipping Roach Warren and rushing Hydras every game. And Classic seemed to be the only Protoss player who figured out, hey, if I just rush glaive depths every game, I get free wins, or at least massive advantages. And he really shut down Dark and Rogue had a week or two where they were looking really good against Protoss with Hydra Ling, and then, glaive adepts just ruined their day. So SERRAL is going to have his eyes out for that. Oracles into second gate, great. Safe adept dive. Hey! Oh, lovely Evo chamber, really well done. Great moves by both sides. Adept only takes minimal damage. Oracle number 1 comes out. Oracle number 2 is here. Probably going to chrono that. He's at 50 energy. Yeah, probably goes triple Oracle here. I wouldn't be surprised. And he's going to try and get a third Nexus, but a single Zergling blocking. Adept will try to secure. Oracle and Spore gets pushed back by Spore and Queen. Takes a tickling 5 hit points of damage. Nexus goes down. And the Adepts will secure that pylon, creating a nice little area. That's always interesting. Can you get behind this gas? I feel like you can there, right? Or is this actually blocked on this map? I don't know if you can run over these rocks. Maybe that's actually fully blocked. In which case, that Adept's really well placed. It's a lot of Zerglings. My gosh. SERRAL going for 22 Zerglings. Oracles are on the wrong side of the map. They can't help defend this. There's only 2 Oracles. No third Oracle, guys. Oracles get themselves 1, 2, 3 drones, but Ling's getting us around on the Adepts. Lings need to full surround, though. They do need to full surround. The Oracles are on the other side of the map. Oracle takes big damage, does barely survive. It gets out of there on 3 hit points. Lings aren't going to be able to cancel the base, though. That's what's kind of crazy here. Yes, you're going to kill the Adept, but SERRAL, he was busy defending at home. I say he's not going to be able to, but actually these Oracles take a really long time to get here. Now, surely you can save that. It's got a lot of hit points. Oracles are close by. Adepts here as well. Classic saving, that's good. But he does lose a bunch of Adepts, which means one of the scariest things for Zerg is when the Oracles and Adepts join up at the front of your base. That timing has just been removed, right? You guys know 4 to 5 Adepts, sometimes 6 Adepts with 2 Oracles. so annoying for Zergs to deal with because you don't even need Glaive Adepts. And it used to be easy to deal with if you could just surround those Adepts, but the Oracles will turn on their lasers overhead and just smash your Zerglings. So, and then whenever your Queens and Lings get together to deal with it, the Adepts shade past, the Oracles fly around, and suddenly your drones get taken out. So it's actually become one of the most effective pressure moments that keeps Zerg from being greedy. And by trading away from the Oracles, Zergling against Adept, even though he was fighting into the choke points, SERRAL has bypassed that entire problem. Now, Classic is going up to extra gateways and has very fast Templar Archives down at about 5 minutes. He started that. Overlord sees it. He also sees more gateways coming in. +1 melees on the way. SERRAL has a 4th base. Now, is SERRAL going to play late game, or is he just going to kill him with like a queen drop? Because there is like a 7-minute or so queen drop timing. But you would think he would have already started Overlord speed if he was going to do that. Then again, he's building 8 more Zerglings. These Lings dancing around. It just forces a bit of healing out of the battery, only loses 1 Zergling. Nice move. This Oracle takes a lot of damage. But both Oracles are still alive, guys. If we look at the units lost tab, you can see very close between the two. Classic slightly ahead on workers. Hydrogen goes down and 5 more workers. It's a 4-gas style right now. A lot of Lings coming forwards. SERRAL keeping the activity up, but I thought he would have been a bit greedier, personally. Oh, he's going to go Hydra Bane. Really? I wasn't expecting that. It's going to be a long time until those Hydra Bane upgrades are ready. Classic takes a 4th base. Can he defend it? Leaving a bunch of units and an Oracle there. Very necessary with how many Lings he's seen on this map. +1 melee. 10 seconds away. Oracle turns on the laser. Lings are going to back away. High Templar already gathering a lot of Storm energy. Classic's already used energy recharge, so he's already got that close to being cooled down. That is how you bank up crazy Storm energy, guys. Warps them in the safest possible position and uses energy recharge immediately. Dude, do you guys remember the first week, like month of this patch coming out and me just shouting at my screen, use energy recharge, and every Protoss player just used it like battery overcharge? Where only when the attack was at their base would they fill up a High Templar with energy. And I was like, what? Like, why are we taking so long to learn how to use this ability? And Classic has truly mastered it. Like, he's so well prepared at spamming that ability out. He's already got 2 full energy, 1 full energy High Templar, a bunch of them with over 100. Like, he's got a ton of energy. All right, Depth's finding some damage. Hydraling Bane's coming out. I mean, SERRAL's got a good economy, but this kind of... I talked a lot about what SERRAL could do to win and what he'd have to look out for, but one of the other things I didn't mention is that SERRAL kind of played a bit too passive last time they played, and I actually think it was a huge part of his downfall was having advantages and then just like playing a bit too chilled out and letting Classic get to late game and not doing enough things to like threaten the kill. Ooh, Stasis does land, but he gets the Oracle, which I think is well worth it. He's got a quad drop getting ready to go in the main as well. So the thing is right now, yes, he's got an infestation. He's getting ready for Hive and stuff, but it does feel like he's given a lot of time for Classic now to max cannons, batteries, and storms. That being said, double Stargate Fleet Beacon on the way without going for Robo, which means Classic is trying to rush towards Tempest or Carriers here. Carriers might be, I mean, the better unit? I don't know, dude. Storm cannon everywhere. Oh, this is going to be so hard to break. Like, yes, the supply is very low. The weakness of Classic's army is he's only got 10 Stalkers, 1 Archon. Like, this is a pretty small army. It's going to be... two more Archons are morphing. Feels like Classic... I mean, he sees the rocks. There's no High Templar on this left side, though. There's no High Templar. He really needs to start tagging this army, man. He can't be surprised by this army. It's going to be really hard. I do like those gateways coming on that left side, but here comes the drop 4. Drop Lords filled with Zerglings. SERRAL has not started a Hive yet. He is incredibly committed. Classic on 91 probes, massing cannon battery. Will he land the Storms? I think the Storms can defend this side on his own, but his army needs to go left right now. Banelings do roll in. Don't find that much damage. Massling drop in the main. He's going to need a big Zealot Warper to deal with that. Does he have weapons available? Oh, massive Hydraling Bane spready. Does enter the fray. The Archons coming forward with these Storms. Probes are going to evacuate. Good probe pull-aways. The Archon Storm there combo looking great. Mass Link Drop moves into the natural now. Oh, the Stalker Archon. A little bit miscontrolled there. Those Lings getting good damage with the +1 melee. The army's still trying to come forward. SERRAL really trying to keep him distracted as long as possible. High Templar a bit far forward though. Oh, Classic with a mistake. He does lose a few High Templar. The Archon starts to get busted. The Hydras have a big arc. The Lings did get defended in the natural, but not before 33 probes have gone down. And SERRAL has found excellent damage. That being said, it was a lot of Banelings he spent, so he is still being cost inefficient, but I would say way more cost efficient than you would expect for this matchup. I know that's a weird, confusing sentence. What I mean there is Protoss is meant to trade a little bit better than Zerg, And now that he's lowered the Protoss economy so much, SERRAL can afford to keep trading somewhat inefficiently and wear him down. That's what he's looking for right now. Great storm. Amazing storms. Possibly the biggest, hugest storms we've seen in a little while. Great storms all over this army. Zealots come forward. The Banes are still just continuing to filter through. The Archons and Stalkers trying to defend. Zealots trying to hold on. SERRAL pulls back there. Doesn't want to overextend and lose his Hydras. His Hive's almost done as well. Right side, Zealot counter comes in. SERRAL's there to defend. He's only got +1 melee, +1 range. Doesn't have +2 or anything like that. The Zealots will two-shot the Zerglings, but of course, the Zerglings, when they full surround, do really nicely. Baneling drop coming in the right side as well. I think this would be better if it was paired up with something else. Unlikely to catch Classic not looking, but Classic's been on the back foot. He's not paying attention. He's not paying attention. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. 15 probes. That's devastating. He just re-probed up into the 70s, and now he's back to 58. SERRAL, meanwhile, is making his Lurker transition. He's got so many units out on Classic. Oh... Dude, that Ling drop really opened things up. And this is so fascinating because it feels like there's just Cannon Battery Storm defending two sides, and how can Protoss possibly screw up the micro? But that drop in the main, as well as the way he danced his army in and out on the left, not committing everything in one big blob the way most Zergs do. The way SERRAL danced in and out, he made it so Classic had to keep microing multiple bases for like a minute, 2 minutes straight. And it's over that period of multitasking where SERRAL was able to pick him apart and say, you don't have enough storms to cover everything. You can't cast all of your spells perfectly. He even comes in and does a Contaminate, takes a poo on the Forge, which is going to limit the shields upgrade there from continuing. Adaptive Talents +2 melee coming in. Adrenal Glands as well. 5 more Lurkers are morphing. I guess they might be the first. Yeah, the first 5 Lurkers. Still got 10 Hydras behind it. There are 2 Stargates, which obviously could make units which SERRAL can't really deal with if Tempests come out. Classic's been a bit broke. He's reprobed really hard. He's got to just try and survive on 4 base. I think he's really got to just leave some High Templar Archon scattered. So he's got, yeah, main army covers the left, other army covers the right. He's got 2 cannons in the main. He's also putting a High Templar there, which is a really good idea. So if a big drop comes in, he can storm and cannon plus Warpins, which is very solid. And he's going to start the carriers now. I'm not too sure about carriers. I do think Tempest is much more stable long term because they can pick away forever without ever having to stand and fight. But carriers is decent. Doesn't have any air weapons, though. Doesn't have the money for that. Classic's almost max, though. As SERRAL left this a bit too long, perhaps. SERRAL is a master of the late game, so he's definitely letting this game go long when I feel like maybe he could have overwhelmed. But we've seen Zergs try to overwhelm and throw the game so many times, and perhaps this is just the more patient and better way to play. Classic tickling these Lurkers. Good blink forward. Oh, pretty good at shots, but he loses a lot of High Templar out of the Lurker splash. He's relying on Cannon for detection here. He needs an Oracle. Does he have an Oracle building? He hasn't queued one. He needs an Oracle really desperately, guys. Because it's only Cannons and Oracles for detection. He's got 1 Oracle out, but only 1. And yeah, I mean, I guess 1's enough for now, but if he does lose, it'll be very problematic. Changeling in the main does go down. Carriers are entering the fray. Spires come up. And you know what's good for SERRAL, guys? If he starts the Spire upgrade pretty much straight away, he could even be ahead on air upgrades against Protoss, which almost never happens. And he's actually going to go Greatest Spire first. +2 melee, adaptive talents. He's still playing single Evo. Yeah, SERRAL's still playing single Evo as he runs in with the Lings, denies the 5th base. Nice one in the main base. Going to prompt a triple Zealot warp in. That will make quick work of that. Lurker's coming in the right side. Zealot's going to force the burrow. Nice move. And he's got his first Robo just now coming out. Oh, nice Storm there. Storm Archon will pop one of the Lurkers. Gets another Storm. Nicely done. I like the move sideways there to dodge those Lurker spines. Defends the Lings this time. 5th base still has not been rebuilt. Zealot attack comes in, but SERRAL's got so much map dominance. He's just going to clean this up really easily. It's the advantage you have when you've got so much control over a game. I'm surprised those spines didn't break the stasis trap. Mothership's on the way, +1 air weapons as well. Okay, carriers come forward. They're going to try and push these Lurkers away. And he quickly loads up. Nidus on the left side. SERRAL's looking to wear down Classic in this game. Remember, he's already killed 49 probes to just 5 drones. A lot of Zealots on the left. They're going to sacrifice themselves to try and save this Nexus. SERRAL continuing in. I think it's a bit of an overcommitment. Yeah, he realizes he backs off. Oh, good hunt for Classic. Gets himself a couple Lurkers there. But the burrow does scare Classic's chase away, and SERRAL going to continue to reposition. Now, he doesn't have any air upgrades still, remember. So definitely fascinating to see. Air armor now starts up. But isn't that crazy? No second Spire, no second Evo. SERRAL is really playing such a pinpoint accurate game where he doesn't want to over invest in any one thing. Like he's spreading his investment so well across the Lurker Nidus harassment with the Hydraling Bane. Now he's going into Corrupted Viper, and he's just continually, gradually working on those upgrades. I really thought Classic was pretty much done for earlier on when he lost all those probes and then the Baneling drop came in, but he's managed to build a big spread of Cannon Battery Storm. He's got that 5th base up, which I told you guys 5th base and then especially 6th base onwards will be a big problem. Because imagine if Classic takes this base, I think his left base gets sniped. Or he doesn't defend this base and it just keeps getting denied. That's what SERRAL's going to be so good at with the Lurker Ling run buys. Oh, a little Corruptor squad coming in. He was maybe thinking about diving the 2 carriers while running in with Lurkers, and that's so cool. Look at that. Who does this? Is Corruptors... Okay, no, they are all grouping up. It's just 5 of them, I guess, popped out closer to the front. I was like, who splits their Corruptors? I was like, what the hell? Oh, he finds an Observer. Oh, look at that. Yeah, he's like hunting the map down, denying the vision. Storm doesn't land for Classic. Does land a Storm on 2 of those Lurkers. Tempests are coming out. Could do pretty nice with the Full Energy Oracle. Good Storms. Feedbacks, maybe? A couple Storms. Corruptors take good damage. Lurkers getting hunted down. Stalkers blinking forward. These Stalkers are happy to die, man. He doesn't care too much about losing those, so he's happy to put them in the firing line. Mothership on the left will be able to defend, potentially. Ooh. Going to use the Cloaking Field. Overseers are here. And that's going to be a back away for SERRAL. The Mothership on this map, man, he's going to have nightmares about that unit. +2 air opens on the way. 2nd Cyber Core's on the way. With Chrono Boost, so you'll be able to get ahead on the upgrades. +1 armor finishes for air. +1 attack starts. And the 2nd Spy is on the way for SERRAL as well. Notice he doesn't put them next to each other. Just kind of diversifying his tech placement. In case one gets sniped, he won't lose the other. At least not immediately. +2 shields is on the way. +2 or 3? +2. Spines coming down to help cement these locations. A Dux would be brilliant, but you can't really do that unless you can distract elsewhere. It does get a high Templar, but the Ling Bane otherwise goes down. 5 Lurk is going to try to run up the natural. Remember, guys, Protoss are always... not just Protoss, anyone in late game is always worried about you attacking the flanks. Oh, look at that, guys. One of the high Templar got picked up by the Lurker, and then a nice Abduct comes in, getting a Tempest as well. So like I said, they'll often have the best defense on the far right and the far left. Sometimes the natural is actually the weak spot. If you get the Cyber Core upgrade denied, it's really big. But the Lurkers got spotted, so he's going to back away. He doesn't want to throw those Lurkers away. He's respecting Classic. SERRAL says, look, if you see my attack coming, I'll run it away, and I'll try to come back when it's more of a surprise. SERRAL's EVP is such a different beast, man. I've been getting back into AoE 2 recently. It just reminds me a bit of like an Age of Empires 2 player where they're never going for the kill. They're always looking for small advantages and to slowly, gradually like build this pile of advantages upon themselves. And that doesn't risk taking the fight. He says, nope, nope, nope. Like he just wants to wear you down, deny resources, and really win a slow, methodical positioning battle. And look for only the perfect engagement if the fight presents itself. SERRAL just doesn't force things. Like, it's so funny because I don't normally, when I'm watching a game, think of players as, like, trying to force things to happen that much. But it's only when I compare it to the way SERRAL plays, where I go, oh, he's waiting for the opportunity to present itself. Like, SERRAL just basically plays a long, drawn-out game where it's all about building a good position, and then he's just waiting for you to slip up. And he's never like, oh, everything's about landing that knockout punch. He's like, no, no, no. I'll just keep fighting, like, skirmishing with you, keeping the interaction going little by little, and I'm going to slowly get that opportunity. Now, nice Storms there. They do pop a few Lurkers, but Lurkers popping a hole there in between those cannons. That cannon gets taken out. Those Zealots going to get wrecked. Mama's going for the dive. He's doing it again. He got big success. He beat SERRAL with this last time. He's going to get a big recall in the main. Mothership goes down immediately. Time Warp does come up. Can SERRAL get back in his main, or is he going to be having nightmares about this again? Oh, the rematch here in Classic says, good luck coming up this round, mate. Yes, he lost the Mothership. Hive's there, but you know what? SERRAL didn't build his Spires here. He only loses the Hive, the Infestation, and the Lurker Den. Same time, these Lurkers doing pretty good damage on this side. They should be able to clear these Zealots out. Might be able to kill the Nexus if he's lucky as well. So he loses a bit of tech. He's rebuilding a lair, spawning pool, Lurker Den already. He didn't rebuild his Infestation pit. That's the one thing he forgot, so he's going to have to rebuild that. But he's still got 2 Vipers up. The only thing you miss out on being able to build right now is Vipers and making new Lurkers. Corruptors abduct a Tempest, take it down. Did he lose a Viper there? Nope, keeps them both alive. Nice transfuses from those Queens as well. But losing mining on this base as well is very annoying. Infest is there. Can't really fungal the high ground though unless he has vision. This is really awkward for SERRAL because once again he's lost his main and it's losing a lot of map control, a lot of map vision. Classic's not going to leave until he gets this hatchery, and then I think he recalls out after killing that hatchery. SERRAL's going across the map. He's looking for any air units. There are some Tempests in the middle. Can he find them? Can he find them? Yes, he can. Yes, he can. Classic with a sloppy rally point. Uh-oh. Tempests in the open, and 2 Tempests will go down. I love that the Vipers already ran away, but look at this. Classic might realize, hey, if your Corrupt's on the wrong side of the map, maybe we can do it. And look at that, actually. He's going to get the Tempest to safety. Shield battery saved the day. No Spinecrawler on this base just yet. He's going to send 1 Lurker to defend the gold. And look, the new Lair's going to go down! And the Spire might go down with +2 as well! Oh, guys, SERRAL's so tilted. I don't have the camera feed, of course, up for this cast. We're casting off replays, but I guarantee you he's tilted right now. He just lost the Greatest Spire just before +2 air weapons finish. Zealots are continuing to run by. I felt like he was in a really good position for a lot of this game, and now he's having deja vu. Classic bullying him with that mothership. Also, using this moment of respite, this pressure where he's got SERRAL distracted to build a 6th base. The 6th base, I was telling you, he's not going to be able to establish because SERRAL's multitasking and splitting of his armies a bit better. But look at that. SERRAL hides the drones, does manage to keep that hatchery alive. He's going to lose this hatchery again, though, if he's not careful. Broodlord, Corruptor, and Fester coming forward. The Duck comes in. Oh, the Carrier Tempest going to go down. Nice fungal as well. Really, really lovely fight here. Great fight there. Great fight for SERRAL. Classic's got to get out of here. He may have overplayed his hand, stayed in the main a bit too long. He's going to recall that. That's a mothership recall, guys. That was not a different recall. Because he wants to attack this base straight away. He doesn't recall with the mini Nexus recall. He waited for the mothership to rebuild, and he uses her to recall to the right side of the map. Oh no, the drones! The Archons! Okay, SERRAL realizes, turns his drones around. Good save there. There's about 20 drones almost ran through those Archons. Hatchery gets sniped. He's got this base up as well. Classic, I think he should try to control the middle, though. He's pulling back, and that might give SERRAL a chance to poke forward if he wants to try that. +2 air weapons now restarted for SERRAL. Up against a 3-1-3 air army. Classic walks right past the Nidus, leaves it alone. And he's got too many Archons right now. Okay, so I think Classic might want to split 4 or 5 Archons off, maybe with some Zealots, do a counterattack or something like that. It's a bit too much of a ground blob, his army right now. He's only got 4 Tempests and 3 Carriers and a Mothership. A mass Archon army gets wrecked by Lurker Broodlord. And that is what SERRAL has, right? 7 Lurkers, 9 Broodlords. So Classic needs to kind of work on his maxed out army a little bit. He does find a few Lurkers there. Reveals these guys. Zealots are going to deny another hatchery. No cancel. Units lost have now 9,000 in favor of Classic. SERRAL, he's lost all the vision in his main. Doesn't have this base on the left. His gold base keeps getting denied. Income, pretty similar. Both players are working off a rather low economy. Classic is to transfer off some of these bases that are a little oversaturated, as this new base hasn't fully saturated just yet. +2 air armors on the way. Broodlord's poking forward. Got to be careful with those Tempests, though. Oh, Fungal goes down. Time Warp to answer. Storms try to come down. Get some feedbacks on the Vipers, but the Parasitic Bomb lands before the feedback does go down, and that's going to do quite a bit of damage in there. Ouch. Youchies knocks the shields off, starts to do some extra damage. He couldn't see which unit had that spell on it. It does do a little bit of damage beyond the initial shields, which will, of course, regenerate. 3 more carriers coming in, so Classic's going to play more of a carrier-focused army. He did have success with this last time. I was saying at the time when I was first commentating that Dallas series, I thought it was maybe a slight mistake. And I guess what I mean by that, right? Hold on. Oracle's doing some good laser damage. I thought Tempest is better. And I think carriers are a bit more counterable. They get wrecked by Corruptors. And don't get me wrong, if you land your Storms and your Archons correctly, you can deflect them. But it's just, it's a little more vulnerable. The Tempest can slowly shave your opponent away if you play a perfect game. Carrier, I think, against perfect Zerg control is a little more vulnerable. But, I mean, that's if everything's perfect, which is not very realistic in a StarCraft game. Cannon Battery trying to come up. I think they'll finish just in time to take down these Zerglings. Yep, nicely done. SERRAL, it's rebuilding another Spire here. It's got 2-2 on the air, which is decent. Definitely wants to try and get those up to +3, though. Greatest Spire goes down. He's going to try and rebuild that. He needs to be able to rebuild those units. Does he have a new Lurker Den? He's got a new Lurker Den as well. So all of his tech's rebuilt now, once the Greatest Spire is finished. Tempest coming forward. Picks off a Spore. And it's just about slowly shaving him down. Right now, 8,000 resources lost different between the two. So SERRAL closed the gap a little bit in the last few minutes. Remember, he was 9,000. Now it's down to 8. So it's a small swing back in his favor. Tempest starting to chip away. Nidus bottom side. Classic. Let's get this base up, which is really important for him. Oh, Tempest find himself a Broodlord. Dude, the revelation. You see the way he reveals the army? This is where, as SERRAL, you want to hide your Corrupted Viper, come in from the right flank. Because Classic's only really looking in one direction. He's looking north. If the Corrupted Viper comes in from a surprising angle, SERRAL can bully him. SERRAL does take out the High Templar, but this is the trick, because yes, he's got revelation on the hatchery, but like you can't see everything. Lurkers do come out behind for SERRAL. Classic's cannon battery will start to get worn down. Should just send like one carrier or Tempest down. That's all he needs to do. Just split one unit. Classic's going to send his whole army south. Gives up a bit of position. I feel like he was bullying on the front really well, and SERRAL just evacuates. Got a Burrowed Zergling there, so we can keep throwing these Nidus Worms up. Nice play for SERRAL. Zealots coming forward on the left. Alright, Lurker's got this. Sorry, Lurker. SERRAL has the left side base. Gold base is kind of a problem because it's just such an easy angle for Protoss to siege on. Lurker harassment's nice. Yeah, Lurkers are so tanky. Even now with 190 hit points, they have 10 less hit points. They're still such a tanky siege unit. Ooh, feedbacks do go down. Storms as well. High Templar do morph into an Archon. Alright, Broodlords take it out. Nice. Oh, High Templar taking damage though. Careful, careful. He lands some feedbacks, but not that many. And a few High Templar, quite a few go down. Yes, the base does die, but another Broodlord goes down there. Or sorry, High Templar goes down. 8 drones and a hatchery. Is it worth that many High Templar? I mean, SERRAL mostly lost minerals. Classic mostly lost gas. So if this ends up being a game where both players are just gas starved and have minerals in the bank, yeah, that was an amazing trade for SERRAL. And that's often where it does end up. Not always, but often. So that, I mean, that, yeah. If you kill 800 gas for a bunch of minerals, sometimes that's insane. But it's going to be like 20 minutes from now when we realize whether or not that sort of trade is amazing. Depending on where the banks end up. Sometimes you end up having to spend so much money on cannon battery and spine spore, you actually run out of minerals. Ah, doesn't catch the army with the revelation. Just an Archon. He's going to Neuro and say, get over here, let me kill you. I'll take that Archon kill. Nicely done. What do we got? 2 Vipers still. How many Queens are there? Just 2 on this map. Not a lot of creep spread right now, but notice he's still trying to respread it a little bit. It's really important because creep just gives you so much passive vision, movement speed. If you can find the APM to keep spreading this creep out, it gives you a very big advantage. There's still 10 Archons, which I still think is a bit too many, even though they clear stuff pretty quickly. They do kind of get stuck behind each other in a bit of a ball. Archon goes down for a Spore. Great trade once again for SERRAL. Those mineral versus gas trades, something Classic's really going to have to watch out for. SERRAL is spending 75 gas per Nidus, which over time will add up, but it's really not too bad. These Lurkers doing really well down here. Oh, Mama goes for the offensive recall. Classic says, no, you thought I was on the right side of the map, or the left side of the map, but I'm actually on the right. 12 drones go down and a base, and then he defensively recalls to defend his own base. SERRAL quickly evacuates though, gets the Lurkers out of there. Nicely done. And did he get rid of the Zergling? I think there's still a Zergling in there, guys. Yeah, there's still a Burrowed Zergling. There it is. There it is. I was like, I'm boxing something here. Still that one Burrowed Zergling. That guy's the MVP, dude. Little listening post down there, you know? Hatchery goes back up on the gold. SERRAL, he needs to mine these minerals out to have a chance in this game. He's still down about 8,000, so he's doing a very impressive job of trading evenly. This is the crazy thing about SERRAL. His ability to trade evenly with players in late games where Zerg's normally 15, 20, 30,000 resources behind. Corruptors are going to come forward. Fungal going to come in. Couple good Fungals, couple good feedbacks as well. The Infestors survive. The High Templar goes down. Broodlord's starting to fall to the Tempest, though. He does land himself a mural. But at the same time, a few Infestors got popped there. The Tempests do go down, though. Dude, that was a pretty good fight for SERRAL. Lost a few Infestors, lost a few Broods. I'm going to bring up this tab and keep an eye on those numbers. He's lost 5 Infestors and 3 Broodlords. Hasn't lost a single Corruptor this game. Only the ones that turned into broods, which is very impressive. 5, but yeah, and only 1 Viper. He's got 2 Vipers still up, so he's not losing his Vipers, like not throwing the Vipers away. Only lost a couple broods. Obviously, the Tempests are at 7. Archon's 13, High Templar 17. I'm just kind of gauging those numbers now so we can see how many of those go down. In big fights, it's very hard to see how much stuff actually dies, and units lost tab only tells us part of the story, but we can see. Down to 7,000 resources lost deficit. If SERRAL can mine out this middle base, so he mines way more resources than Classic, and he's trading more efficiently over the next few minutes, continues to close the gap between the two, this could be very impressive for him. Right now, bank's pretty similar between the two players. Classic's going to deny this base. This is a big harvest. Lots of spines and spores going to go down. SERRAL not going to pull to defend. He's going to just try and hit it. Storm goes down. There's a Tempest here as well, but I mean, that's kind of crazy coming forward with a Tempest here. The Corruptors will be taking care of that. High Templar comes forward for another Storm. Actually gets a Broodlord kill with it. This base will fall eventually, but that's... SERRAL's given up 2 bases for 1 right now. Oh, Lurkers in an Overlord will start to slow siege the right side. SERRAL, oh, not sure if that was on purpose or not, the Unburrow. He's going to try to come home and catch this army. He's leaving 3 Broodlords there, pulls the Lurkers away. He's worried about those getting recalled and jumped on top of. So, Classic takes a 2-for-1 base trade. Now, there's part of me that says that's good for Classic, because 2 bases is better than 1. The problem, SERRAL's still mining the space out. He's mining the gas, he's mining the minerals. That's the most important base. I don't think you're ever going to steal these bases as Classic. SERRAL's going to eventually be able to mine the top left. And this base here might be something SERRAL could keep denying. If SERRAL could actually bully him off this base, he's going to have so much more money mined in this game. It's going to actually get out of control. So Classic, yeah, he needs to recontrol the middle. Look at this creep. This is what I was talking about. The creep gives a lot of vision. He's got to try and keep removing that. He cannot let that creep get too far forward. Changelings everywhere. Let's look at SERRAL's vision. He's spending changelings everywhere. Really good usage. People have been sending changelings out for a long time in the late game. This has always been part of the late game. But notice he has 11 Overseers. Many are with the army, and by having them on his Overseer Corruptor key, it's very hard to feed back the Vipers. Because they're all stacked in with the Overseers, and the Overseers are spellcast as well. So you're accidentally feedbacking Overseers most of the time. It makes it really tricky for Classic to land those spells. Chat says late game Zerg is just as scary as Protoss. When SERRAL's playing it, I 100% agree. I don't know if anyone else I think is as scary as Classic's late game with Zerg. Oh, great fungal neural. Oh my gosh. Oh, SERRAL gets a big ambush, even throws a microboost shroud, trying to recall some of the units. But guess what? They're more power-sided. Those don't get affected by recall because they're enemy units for that time. A bunch of Tempests and Archons go down. Classic gets caught out. Units lost gap has closed to 5,000. And the creep is really helping. It's really giving SERRAL a nice vision advantage here. Look at this vision he's got forward. Gives his extra movement speed on some of his units as well. Zealots come down the left. Lings are going to try to defend this. These are only 2 Zerglings. Remember, he lost his Evo chamber and never rebuilt it, guys. So that's actually one small problem here for SERRAL that he might not realize. Whereas this is 3-1-3 for the Zealots. They don't have +3 armor or anything like that. But yeah, I feel like the 2 Lings are still going to really struggle with this. Just a knife for a few Zealots. This is a good play. The Lurkers are going to have to come forward to try and push it back. Yeah, the Lings, he's not even wanting to stand and fight. He wants to let the Lurkers clear this up because he knows he's outgunned. SERRAL tries to retake the base. Zealots block it. Zealots on the right side as well. Good activity for Classic. He's got excess minerals. Remember we talked about it. He lost way too much gas in the last 5-10 minutes of this game. And his gas bank is really suffering. So all of those trades where SERRAL was throwing away minerals for gas. I mean, look at this. SERRAL's bank is quite well balanced. 7,000 or 6,500 minerals, 5,000 gas. Classic's got 5,000 minerals, only 2,500 to 3,000 gas. And that's a problem for him long term. Things are going to come in on this side. Has Mama there to defend. Still got 9 Archons in this army. Corruptors. Oh, they found Mama! They found Mama! The Corruptors coming in one-shot Mama! Remember, that is 3-3 air now for SERRAL, 3-3-3 air for Classic as well. Just the ground upgrades that are lacking. Lingwork is going to come in. No Mama here for the recall. Recall's off cooldown. It's like, sorry, 10 seconds away. Dude, he can maybe deny this base. If he targets this base, he can kill this base. The army's trying to come back from the top left. Classic's trying to steal these bases off SERRAL. I said SERRAL's naturally going to mine those. Classic's actually going to try and bully him off them, but if he bullies him off the top left, That means he loses this base, and this base is so crucial because it's also the base that could deny the gold. This whole time, SERRAL's mining the gold. This whole time, there is a momentum shift that's going on. SERRAL is taking the gold. SERRAL is fighting Classic in the point of the game where he is meant to be strongest. Late game. He's letting it get there despite having a really good early mid game with the Hydra Bane bust, finding massive damage. Zealots trying to warp in. That's a lot of Zerglings. Remember, no +3 armor. These Zealots get shredded. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Yeah. You need an Archon or two with these units to really do well against the Zerglings. You want to pull into a nice little tight formation. I don't think he realizes he's not got 3-3, guys. Losing the main and then losing also the Great Aspire in his natural and that second layer that he built reset SERRAL's tech. He does not realize he doesn't have 3-3. I would guarantee you it's not a choice. It's an oversight. Oracle goes down. And Classic's being bullied off this base. Classic's got no money. His income's super dry. SERRAL's mining the gold, and he's slowly retaking these top left bases. 28 drones to 19 probes. More High Templar are warping in. Please do not make any more Archons. Oh my gosh. Classic's going to 14 Archons again. That's not... Is that good? He's also building 11 carriers. Oh, he's doing the Max Pack start. Guys, this is how Max Packs used to play. This is the, I'm going to just get you in a bad position and force a sloppy A move. In a sloppy fight, Classic's army absolutely mauls. If SERRAL can force this to be technical, slow, methodical, he destroys this army with good spellcaster usage if he can get the right engage. Grabs a carrier, but he eats a big storm. Those Corruptors are going to take a while to heal that. You know, you can take a carrier and go, oh, that's free. It's only free if these Corruptors don't now die because they've already all taken 50 hit points of damage. Cancels the hatchery, hides his drones with the burrow to the top left. Mass Link coming in on the bottom right. Oh, he depowers the warp in. The cannon's going down. Classic. He's gonna depower this one as well. The Zealot warp, it gets cancelled at 99%. Classic has to recall. He has to recall his army. And yet again, this is the last mining of him. Wow, he's got to leave an Archon or two on these bases. But remember what I said, Classic does not like to leave units separate from his main pack. If he leaves a High Templar or some Archons or something, it could be good, but he's just moving away again. And you know SERRAL's going to remake Zerglings and hit that angle one more time. He's not going to have recall for it. Got Mama in the army, though. Dude. Units lost tab is almost even. They're within 1,000 resources of each other. SERRAL has... I think at the peak it was, what, 11, 12,000 resources apart? So SERRAL over the last 15 minutes has been about 10, 11,000 resources more efficient than Classic. Does send 2 High Templar back. That's good. We needed to do this. Recharges the energy on the battery, heals those cannons. Good play, good play. Really, really well done. Some Lurkers, Corruptors, and Broodlords are made. Remember, Zerglings are basically free guys. They cost very, very little. And remember, Classic wants this big meathead army for a very good reason. It's so that he can recall into the base and take out SERRAL's tech. And if SERRAL gets sloppy in the open, he can just A-move through with the Archon carrier and the Storm's Landing. SERRAL's been really good at not giving him that opportunity and not letting him use it. Oh, there's an Observer right there. Doesn't know about it. Random Tempest out to the left. Oh, he's looking for the feedbacks. The Viper's still just out of range. That Tempest says, hey, I'm over here. Corruptor's like, okay. Take him out. Get the Observer on the way back. Really important to limit that vision of Classic. Classic's trying to retake this base, but guess what? SERRAL's mined out the gold minerals, and the gas on that base will be mined out in the next 2 or 3 minutes. Top left base, healthily mining. This base running out of minerals. So SERRAL's got a really big tail of minerals and gas here. Classic almost mined out in the bottom right. If he can re-establish this base, he will be able to mine for several more minutes, but definitely the bank situation is looking ungodly favored to SERRAL. 11,500 resources for him in the bank, less than 2.5 for Classic. I wish I understood skill expression SE2 more. I have no idea what I'm really watching. I enjoy the spectacle. That's a lot of people. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oracle does do a tag. Neuroparasite quickly lands a Neuroparasite. Lands a fungal on that High Templar as well. Yes, the Storm will kill. And that does allow the Oracle to escape. A little sloppy from SERRAL. Should have killed that Oracle with the Corruptors while it was neuraled. But yeah, didn't give it the target control there. Now, those Neurals are really good for grabbing units that are exposed and just pulling them into your army. Oh, good focus with the Tempest, getting a good volley off. There's not that many Tempests. They don't really one-shot many units. 6 Tempests it is, and only a few fired. Overseer goes down. Great tags. whenever he's tagged, it kind of bullies him back. Now, the Oracle Revelation, how long does it last, guys? Like 17 seconds or something? It's a good time. Ooh, good tag there. Tempest starting to wail on those Corruptors. They go a little far forward. Needs the Storms. Oh, good Fungals. Feedbacks and extra Storms do land. But a Mural does land. One Tempest will go down. He's going to look for the second one. Yeah, he's going to get at least 2 Tempests there. And he gets another High Templar with the Broodlords. SERRAL very confidently chasing him now. And look at that. They're within 400 resources of each other. Classic Spank almost exhausted. He doesn't just need an even fight. He needs a massively favored fight. And to steal this top left base off SERRAL. But that's so hard to make happen when SERRAL over the last few minutes is just shaving you down. Look at this. Changelings coming in. Even storms them because he's too lazy to click on them. Very common for players to do that in late game. He's got almost unlimited storm. He's got actually only 6 High Templar. I thought he had more than that. Notice the creep respread. Just making it hard for him to get in. He has to spend a bit of time kind of mowing the lawn essentially before he's able to get close to the army. He can't really get in there immediately. And this is a huge confidence boost for SERRAL, guys. It's a huge confidence. He went to the point in the game where he struggled last time on the same map, got his main recalled into, lost his tech, had his game reset to a certain extent. But he's been able to really wear Classic down in the late game. What Classic needs to remember is this was not a good setup into the late game. He was behind. He took 50 probe losses before the 10-minute mark. SERRAL was ahead. Last time, he was ahead going into a lot of the late games. So I don't think Classic should be too down on himself about his chances in the late game. But I feel like these last few minutes might make him feel that way. Like if I was playing these last few minutes where Classic's just out trading me the whole time, when we both have maxed out kind of perfect armies, I would feel a little helpless. And I'm hoping Classic doesn't have that feeling. Because I know a lot of players, they get into this sort of game. They do kind of surprisingly well. But at the end of it, they feel like, what can I even do against this guy? He's just so good in the late game. And that's a scary thought to let into your head. Observer goes down, but massive storm lands on the Corruptors. Oh, Broodlord's going to go down, maybe? Got to get rid of this creep, though. I don't know if he has an Observer, does he? He's got one Observer. I don't know where it is. It's not in here. It's coming forwards now. He doesn't want to use Revelation for creep because he's worried about the army catching him. And oh my gosh. Oracles go a bit far forward. Broodlord's coming with the spread. SERRAL wants to fight. SERRAL wants to fight. SERRAL wants to fight. The Broodlords come in. A massive Broodlords. Corruptors go left. Storms are on them, though. Great storm zoning those Corruptors. Neuroparasite on one of the Archons. Parasitic Bomb landed in a big way. Those air units shields getting peppered down. Broodlord's doing pretty well, but there's so many Archons in here. Time Warp goes down. The Corruptors are going to dive. They're eating massive storms and Archon shots. SERRAL, this is not the fight. This is not the fight. SERRAL takes a disastrous engagement trying to defend his base, and he gets slaughtered. He got slaughtered there, but he gets his Broodlords out. If he can get those Broodlords away, maybe with the Corruptor... he's got 52 Corruptors on the way. He has to keep these Broodlords alive, though. He's dumped his whole gas bank. Remember, he had so much more bank going into this. That was an amazing fight for Classic. 52 Corruptors coming out. There's only 3 Archons here. Where's the High Templar? Where he needs High Templar with this army right now, guys. He's got 12 of them. They're all at home. He needs them to come forward. He's making Archons. He's energy recharging. He needs to get out of here before those Corruptors get on top of him. Classic's just done amazingly well. SERRAL has no income, but Classic, you cannot afford to lose this army. You got to... the Corruptors are coming. The Corruptors are coming. Your High Templar are very slow to get to the front. Bro! Classic, no! No, mate! He doesn't have any storms. He gets jumped on. The Corruptor Broodlord's gonna dive. He should have got out of here. Classic stays too deep. The Corruptor Remax catches him in the open, and his whole army gets mashed. The Corruptors are going to try to run away. Classic stayed too long on the other side of the map. The Corruptors, unfortunately, due to the Chastity Belt, cannot get on top of the Healing Shrine. Classic should have pulled back and grouped up. He still had a shot in this game. He still had a few more minerals to mine here and here. And this base, which was so easy for him to retake, he actually could have rebuilt. He needed the High Templar there. But now he's making Stalkers. Remember what I said? Players get demotivated when they play SERRAL. They just don't. They've never played against the Zerg this patient. And they get confused about what they're supposed to do. I think that fight on the top left was so good for Classic. He had an opportunity, but his High Templar arrived halfway through the fight at best. Half of his air army, if not all of it, was gone by the time the storm started to land. And Classic, I think now he's lost that opportunity because he's got no money and there's Broodlords out. He's only got ground. Ground army cannot beat 12 Broodlords with 3 Infestors and 3 Lurkers. Whew! This fight up here was terrible for SERRAL, guys. He should have given those bases up and repositioned. SERRAL let himself get cornered, and it was the first impatient fight he took in the entire game. It was the first one, and it went really bad for him. Wouldn't Broodlings have benefited from the ground upgrades? Oh, he absolutely should have gone the ground attack upgrades, especially. For sure. 100%, guys. It's 100% a mistake. It's just something he hasn't realized. In this sort of game, you're not hovering over your Zergling upgrades very often. Especially at this point, you don't even have that thingo. Classic's going to deny some hatcheries. Corruptors kill an observer. SERRAL playing very carefully. Just wants to camp this base, chill out, and take no risks. He's coming in to pay on the base, and he's like, oh, you can't even afford to build the Nexus right now? Should be dawning on SERRAL how good this position is. 3 Corruptors in the open. Oh, sloppy. SERRAL didn't have those on a control group. Lost track of them. SERRAL now is like, He really doesn't want to lose this base. He's going to leave the Lurkers there. He's playing so afraid. SERRAL right now is like, don't screw this. Do not screw this. Do not screw this. And he's basically like, if you don't have a Nexus and I have a hatchery, I just camp. And don't get me wrong, it's probably the correct call, but it's one of those things like no one does except SERRAL. Like, you know, there's like optimal safe paths to victory with like minimal risk. This is probably it. This is probably the thing, if you put the AI in here, that makes the most safe optimal decision. This is it. It's like, I have a base mining, you don't. Why would I move away from this base and risk losing it? Doesn't make sense. I'm like, well, anyone else would just do it, because it's I feel like if you move across and catch the army, it's 95% a win anyway. And he's gonna go for it now. Classic. I mean, what can he do? He can't escape. Fungal Broodlord, man. This army does nothing against this, and SERRAL is finally going to seal the deal. Great Fungals to trap this army. The Archons come back to try and save the other Archons, but now they get fungled. Oh, no. All right, the Infestor energy is finally gone. What are you going to do? Recall? He tries to recall, leaves a High Templar and a Stalker behind. You can see the new Cuck Broodlings very slow, but they do eventually take them out, and that's going to be that. Game 1 for SERRAL, guys. 47-minute barn burner. He's going to try and attack this base, but there's Lurkers there, and I don't think he has any mobile detection. So that is going to be that. Fantastic play by SERRAL, and really showing, look, I'm going to beat you at what you're best at. I'm going to beat you in the situation where no other Zerg wants to play you in this scenario, and most of them look helpless in the late game. But I am SERRAL. I am the greatest player of all time, and I can dance all day. The Broodlord's going to start a step backwards, going to do fantastic damage as those Archons go down. Classic has to tap out. Oh, I just can't help but wonder if Classic didn't lose that air army there. Away, like if he recalled or ran back, could he have won this game? I mean, look how far away the High Templar are, guys. They're here when the fight starts. I mean, this is just a huge mistake on his part. He has recall the entire time, and yeah, he killed it. He took this fight like a minute ago. You know that he's fully remaxed. You know he's coming for you. He had 8 carriers, 5 Tempers, and look, even his Archons are so far away from the air army. So the Corruptor's like spreading on top, killing. 3 carriers go down. 4th carrier and 5th carrier go down, and then the first storm lands. So he's lost 5 carriers before the first storms land. Ah, whereas imagine if these extra 5 Archons and all these storms are with the army. That's crazy. SERRAL took a bad fight up here. The Classic got a bit too eager on the map. He needed to regroup, and I think he could have won this game. That's crazy to think of, because SERRAL was dismantling him for a long time, but that one fight up here was actually amazing for Classic. GG, well played. All right, let's go. Game 2, SERRAL. 47 minutes of grinding his opponent down. Sandpaper Zerg back at it. Let's see if Classic can bounce back. Bottom right side of Incorporeal. There's only the group stage, so this is not an elimination match, but you want to go through in that upper bracket, and you also want to intimidate your opponent and send a message to everyone else. Classic, best PvZ player in the world right now, I would say, and SERRAL, obviously the best CVP player. If you can take them down, you can take just about anybody down. $16 hatchery, not bad. Now, Incorporeal is a map where they did have a very long drawn-out map last time they played. I think it's a pretty good medium-sized map, though. And I really would love SERRAL to just go get him. Like, he got in a really good spot with the Hydra Bane in the last game. I don't know, man. I have to wonder, like, what if he just did, like, a Queen drop, you know? Even with the +1 melee. +1 melee, Queen Ravager, +1 melee Zergling drop is actually very effective. Solar loves that build. And I think that could be good. I don't know. I just think maybe surprise heavy Muta swap. You know, do some gambles. I think SERRAL's at his best when he intimidates his opponent with a late game and then just mixes some all-ins and stuff in, or some mid-game timings, and swarms over the top. I don't like this map for Hydra Bane as much, just because this ramp, I feel like, is really hard to push up there, up here, and then, like, you know, even when the Protoss takes this fourth on the right, they can kind of, like, you've got this bit of terrain here, and then especially if they build some buildings here, like, you end up funneling into this left side. It feels like a map where Hydra Bane's not got as many good angles, so more of a surprising attack that looks to break the third down earlier in the game before Storm is out, or early after Storm comes in. Sort of attack that I'd prefer. Chrono on the Adeptus starter. Stargate should be coming in there, 215. It's a very quick Stargate. Notice he pulled off minerals a little bit to make sure he had the 6 workers on gas very early, despite going for the Gate Scout. Surprise Classic doesn't play a no scout gas first build just to have a slightly smoother opening. I don't know if there's ever any surprises from SERRAL in the early game of this matchup. When was the last time SERRAL did anything other than just a hatch gas pool? Like, I can't remember. If anyone remembers an opening that isn't this for SERRAL in this matchup in the first 3 minutes, please link me those games. Tell me which match it was, because I feel like there's just no reason to scout against SERRAL until he starts mixing 12 pools into his game. So even if just every second game you skip the scout would be kind of nice. Classic playing a bit more generic. It's been fascinating to see, like, Zaun as well. Zaun and Classic both love to do that Gate Scout. It used to be Showtime was the only guy who did a Gate Scout. Just a very safe opening. Does Hero scout? Hero will send his scout across at the very start to block the base, or he will skip the scout entirely a lot more. Hero does a lot more of a mixing it up, trying to get those advantages. Similar to what I just said. But Hero also sometimes will send the probe across too late at the start, doesn't even get there in time to block it. Because I'm pretty confident Hero has never checked the distance and how long it takes probes to get across the map. Because he will, I think, at a higher rate than just about any other top Protoss, kind of send it too late and miss the block off timing, which kind of shows you're a bit unprepared for the map. Classic would never do that. Then again, Classic we haven't seen block at all in a while. It's decided it's not that efficient, I guess, or he's not as keen on it. Overlord goes down. Oracle just spots the high ground. Very defensive opening. Second Oracle comes out. Will we see a third? I know the Europeans were big on single Oracle for a while. I do think 2 Oracles probably the sweet spot. 3 Oracles okay. But look at this. Lings are hiding and Classic finds it. Oh, that's great play for Classic. Really well done. And he goes across the map anyway. Classic, what are you doing, mate? What? You just saw a big pack of Lings. I know we didn't see all of them, but still, that's wild. To see Mass Ling coming and then just continue across the map. So, what? That's not a wall off. Those Lings can run right into that base if they wanted to. Choose to run away. Kind of lucky for Classic that SERRAL didn't want to go in the base. Didn't want to get his Lings trapped. But that's a wild decision. Sending those Oracles out. The Lings are waiting. I love how sneaky SERRAL's being. Roach Warren's on the way as well as a lair. 50 drones to 45. 3 more building. Third Nexus will come up. But if you want to send your Adepts, remember, SERRAL does not want to deal with the 2 Oracle, 6 Adept pressure. That has been the thing that has undone so many players over the last few months, and Classic's become an expert at it. And SERRAL's like, nope. Like, you don't get to Oracle harass me. So he's basically going first. He's sending his Lings forward, but he's not throwing them away. Because then, once the Lings are dead, Protoss can counterattack. He is waiting and saying, hey, you move out and I'll punish you. Classic's not able to move out. Classic is forced to sit at home. And SERRAL's managing his economy really well behind it, but it gives you a lot less info on where the Zerg economy's at. As a Protoss player, you're kind of going, wait, where are we up to? Oh, that Adept was not in the wall off correctly. Stalkers are going to warp in. Lings are going to go for a little scouty scout. Ling's just going to circle a little bit and sees a lot of gateways. Sees the whole transition underway, knows the Templar Archives is finishing. Battery there, can't really find anything. Depths are now coming forward, but it's so late. And we are sending the Lings home. Hydra Den and Infestation Pit both on the way. Serral's going to rush Lurkers. All right, no mid-game timings for him. If he can get that 4th base gas up early, that'd be great. Dude, he's avoided building any roaches, hasn't he? He's only building Zerglings. And he's showing mass Zergling. He's making it look like he's playing Mutalisks. Honestly. The Infestation didn't get scouted. Hive's now on the way. If I was playing Protoss, I'd be convinced I'm playing against Mutalisks here. Because I haven't seen a single Roach. I've only seen a safety Roach for him. Cannon goes up in the main. Yeah, he's got the safety cannon. I'm surprised he's not even building a Phoenix. Like, I feel like Serral's really just saying, no, I don't want to waste any gas on Roaches. Straight into Hydras, Lurkers, and Vipers. And it also just, you know, it potentially gives off that image of Mutalisks as well. So this stops Ling run bys as well. Gas is on the 4th a little late. I think these could already be up by now. There we go. 4th base gas comes down. He builds a Spore on this base as well. Or actually, did he move that? Oh, he's moving it from his 3rd. Because Oracle's unlikely to dive into one of these central bases, whereas Hydras are rallying out of. Oracles get a few Zerglings. Adepts do deny a Creep Tumor. Classic is down about 8 workers. He does have his 4th base at a decent time, but it just does feel like Serral's a little ahead of the curve, and I think the best play for Classic here is to go for that 2nd Stargate Fleet Beacon off of 8 gases. So he does take the gases even before the 4th is ready. He's going to need to get some Tempest out really, really fast. Normally, I hate Protoss rushing Tempest at 117 supply, but knowing what we know, it might be necessary. He's only got 3 Stalkers, though. His army's so small. Serral's just ahead in this game, guys. Serral is just ahead. There's no ifs or buts about it. Classic thinks about breaking these rocks. He's not going to have time to do it. He doesn't have enough damage. 3 Adepts and 2 Stalkers. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, there we go. Archon's coming out as well. Trying to go charge. He's trying to avoid building Stalkers. This Archon... Oh, looks like it got move commanded. Don't want to crush that, do you? I'm going to leave it at 1 hit point. And he finally goes back and breaks the rocks. There we go. Making that ramp a bit harder to get up. Nidus Worm is on the way for Serral, guys. Where is that Lurker Den? It's finished. The Lurkers are morphing. Has not made Adaptive Talons yet, though. That's a mistake, guys. That is absolutely a mistake. There we go. There we go. Okay, now it's starting up. He's trying to take 10 gas. Wow, Serral trying to go for a very big economy. Lings should be able to deal with these Adepts. One of them goes down. Next one will get surrounded as well. Pylon on the right side. He sees the double overseer. Classic should be aware of what's coming. 2nd Stargate Fleet Beacon's on the way. It's not ready just yet. He's got to zone this army back. He cannot let these Lurkers get sieged on his base. He's got great cannon battery stasis trap spreads all over. But that main base is wildly exposed, and I don't think Classic realized when he got that glimpse of those overseers what was happening. But now he sees one. He does see one. Classic has to react, and he has to react fast. There's already a Nidus on the left. There will be Niduses in the main. He starts a cannon in the main, so he's aware. He's aware of the threat. Motherships and Tempest starting with air weapons. Classic getting to late game. Serral taking too long. I feel like he's missing his Lurker timing as we speak. It might be slipping away from him. Queen's on the left side. Oh, Creep Tumors would be amazing there. Lurkers are going to come forward. Doesn't have an Overseer for high ground vision, though. Ouchies. He's got to get something on the high ground if he wants to push this. Oh, this is awkward for Serral. Okay, finally he gets one on the high ground. Transfuses do start to land, but he needs high ground vision. Oh no, Serral botching this attack. Overseer does come up. Goes into that oversight mode. Nice transfuse on the Lurker. Lurkers start to break the cannons. Now they're pushing through. Ling Lurker on the right as well. And here we go. Classic's going to bypass his army. He's got plenty of Storm on that right side. This left side, he needs Tempests out to defend. Where are they? They're coming. Here come those Tempests. They're going to start chipping away at this, and that is going to make it really hard. Serral could snipe the base and then pull back. Same time, though, he's got to deal with Zealot, High Templar, Arc on counterattack. Tempest taking out their first Lurker, but this is the real attack. Here come the defensive army for Serral. The drones are trying to hide. He's trying to use an evacuation Nidus Web to get him out of there. Lurkers come forward. Good pullbacks and storms here for Mr. Classic. Serral on the other side of the map is taking out his base, though. It looks like the Tempests are taking too long to clean that army up. Zealots do deal with the Nidus Worm, but only 6 drones go down. The Lurkers will secure the hatchery and defend it. They even get an Archer on the way out. Tempest. It looks like, did he lose a Tempest? He lost 2 Tempests to the Queens, guys! He lost 2 Tempests to the Queens while focusing on other things. But the Zealots get at the top right as well. Classic staying active. He's not letting SERRAL mine these bases for free. More Zealots come in. Lurkers will defend. This base goes down. SERRAL pushes Classic back to 3 bases. Classic, meanwhile, keeping SERRAL on only 3 base mining. But SERRAL is able to stabilize and defend the hatcheries, and that is what's important, because now those hatcheries are back up. That is big. He's also building 5 more queens right now, is SERRAL. Just trying to, I guess, make sure he rebuilds, since it looks like all these queens will eventually be going down. He's going to continue to push forward with his creep and deny that mining. He's trying to throw an ID swap on the right side if he can get on that 4th, which is, I guess, now his 3rd base. That would be huge, and it seems like Classic is a bit focused in one area right now. Not in position. He does have High Templar, could land some nice storms. He's got to get those High Templar away from those Lurkers. Lands a good 2nd storm, but the High Templar are a little bit too close, and they are getting wounded. Army moving in the middle as well. Tempest going to slowly shift in this direction. Can he defend it? SERRAL's all over him. Classic right now needs to stabilize. He can't quite do it. He's only got 1 Overseer, but 1 Overseer should be enough. Time Warp goes down. SERRAL quickly unsieges and moves to the right side. That Overseer is the only Overseer. He's got to get out. Pulls those units away. He's going to take out this base, and that's going to push Classic back to 2 bases. SERRAL with the Nidus Worms, moving these Lurkers around like an expert, and he slowly begins his Spire transition behind it. 5th base still mining gases, as is the 4th. Excellent crisis management for SERRAL. And the Queens killing those Tempests on the left side, I cannot get over, man. If those 2 Tempests were chipping away at it the whole time, they could have killed a lot more stuff. And then if he denied this Nidus, he would have been able to reestablish this base and get back to controlling 4 base, which is all Classic needed to get to the late game. But now his 3rd is denied again. His 4th has just started rebuilding. His creep tumors over there. Remember, this man doesn't have a robo. He doesn't have, oh, he does have a robo, but he doesn't have any detection out. No observers just yet, only oracles. So he's struggling to deal with all this. Tempests, they do damage, but not a huge amount. Look at that, he moves out of position to the left to deal with the Lurkers. The right side comes in. SERRAL says, lol, 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 did you want to expand here, idiot? Clicks on the Nexus, and he can just unburrow and run away the moment that Nexus goes down. He doesn't even need to. The Lurkers and the Hydras trying to fight this out. He doesn't actually click on the Nexus. He is going to have to run away. Time Warp is the get out of my base bubble, and it does force SERRAL back. 16 Corruptors with +1 armor coming in. +1 melee has started up behind us as well. Zealots take out a Spine Crawler, but the Lurker Queen will deal with it. SERRAL's got a 6th base up there in the middle as well. These middle bases with the gas, very important if the game drags on. I can't imagine Classic has much wind left in his sails, though. His income is so low. His main is almost completely mined out. These last few patches are below 200 minerals. In the natural, he's only got 4 patches left as well. He's barely mining minerals. His income, incredibly low. Yes, he's got a decent army, but SERRAL's starting to bank. And SERRAL, now that he's got Corruptors out, what have you got to cover? You've got mostly Tempests with a bit of Storm and 5 Archons. I think, you know, the right positioning, yes, that can defend from 16, 17 Corruptors, but SERRAL is a master of finding you out of position. Oh my gosh, the Lurker count, 19! He has 19 Lurkers, though. If those get sieged on a base, that's a disaster for Classic. Oh my gosh. And they are absolutely going to get sieged in a brilliant position. The cannon there trying to fight against this Hydra Lurker. More Lurkers come forward. Immortal comes out. It will get blitzed if it doesn't run away. Quickly gets away from there. It's going to be a counterattack for Classic. So, Army's trying to come back right now. He's got plenty of Lurkers popping at home. Corruptor's trying to come home as well. SERRAL does not want to get caught out of position. He's aware that this army is very scary. He's trying to push in with minimal units. A couple of Lurkers and Hydras. Nice Immortal Storm defense, but no detection there right now. That Lurker did not burrow, unfortunately, for SERRAL. SERRAL's going to lose the top right base. I don't think he cares. Lose 20 drones, lose a hatchery. It is what it is. He is ruining the very limited economy of Classic, this Lurker. Oh, he's doing so much damage. Oh my gosh, one last hit gets a few more probes. Not to mention the Hydra Lurker and the Natural that are doing even more. Observers finally out. The Immortal does go down. The High Templar is going to fall though. Yes, the top right base goes down, but SERRAL's got more money where that came from. And he is keeping Classic in a dark, poverty-stricken Protoss place. Accidental alliteration today. What can I say, guys? SERRAL's just getting me a bit excited. Almost gets a Tempest. Does bait the Time Warp, which is really good for any future engagements in the next minute or two. I like Twitch chat's comment. They said, mathematically, Zerg, yet the chin. I agree. Mathematically, Zerg, yet the chin. I don't know what got auto-corrected there in that sentence, but I love it. Zerg, yet the chin. It feels like a mystery. Thank you, telephones, for correcting things. Zerg get the chin. Oh, he's going to take out the top right base again. Nice deny there. No cancel for SERRAL. 6 more drones do go down. But look at this, another Lurkinitis forces a recall. SERRAL gets in, gets out. Beautiful play. Now, obviously, Classic was known as the chin toss. So maybe it's Zerg gets the chin. But I almost don't want to know, you know? Sometimes some things are best left as mysteries, you know? So let's try to go to the left side. Dude, the defensive setups are so good for SERRAL. The way he moves these packs of units around and uses Nidus Worms to reposition, these like small little attacks, not just big crazy shove my whole army and hope you're not looking. It's so well done. I mean, SERRAL has been finding the chin very well in this series so far. He's been landing some big blows on Classic. Classic's he's been knocked down multiple times. But he's got a granite chin. He keeps getting back up. You know, he just shakes it off, gets back up. His recovery is wild. SERRAL still just adding spores, spines, respreading his creep tumors as well. So many players forget to respread creep when the game gets hectic like this, but SERRAL never tunnel visions. Always focusing on many different areas at once. 2 zealots in the middle, gonna force these lurkers to burrow a bit. Always annoying when those zealots they just force you to do things, you know? Like, stop it, guys. Have to burrow one more. Let's get both of those. Oh, a few lurkers get caught. Classic's army's getting frighteningly large. But his upgrades suck. Only +1 air, +2 attack on the ground. No plasma shields. No air armor at all. SERRAL, on the other hand, has 2-2 on the way, and look at this. Lurkers find the mid-right base. Gonna take out all the cannons. Don't think recall's available right now. Broodlords and Corruptors come forward. Fungal does land, but Time Warp's going to force him back. I think SERRAL's got to be careful here. He abducts a Tempest, and he stutter steps back. He's got Lurkers there as well, which is why those Archons had to get out at dodge. Lurker's still denying the space on the right side. Recall's not quite ready. Top right base gets denied for the 14th time. Classic's doing a good job of denying that top right base. Fungals are landing. Corruptor's trying to fight here. He's got to be careful, though. Classic kind of panic storms his own army. I think he thought the Corruptors were going to dive, but they didn't. They're backing away. SERRAL knows he's got to be patient. He has to bide his time. Classic is looking for you to A-move over Archons. It's what caught SERRAL out in the last game. Does SERRAL realize the threat? The fact that he backed away from that engagement tells me he does. He needs a lot of Broodlords, and he needs to be really careful with his Corruptors when the fight starts, and very slow and methodical. If he shoves his units in, he will get a terrible engagement, because those Archons, they only have 3 range, but they do big splash damage against air and ground. They will mince your Corruptors if you fly over the top of them. Lurkers and Broodlords will remove the Archons very quickly, but you've got to get them close enough to do that damage, and that means taking a lot of hits from the Tempests. He's got to be willing to take those Tempest hits to close the distance. Once the Archons are gone, the Corruptors will clean everything up. Right now, Classic needs to grab his army and recall. He's only got 4... Actually, no, he's got a lot of Storm still in there. Okay, I thought he'd used up most of his Storm. 3 full energy High Templar is really nice. Oh, good Storms all over, but Fungal catches him with a Broodlord Arc. The Corruptors are going to dive on top. They managed to get through. The Time Warp does come up, but I think the Corruptor Overseer is going to clean it because there's no Arc on High Templar left anymore. So many units go down, and SERRAL finds the fight that he needs. Recalls to a barren third base, and I think Classic should be realizing it's time to tap. All right, SERRAL with an impressive return to form. One of the few players who is not feeling forced to do damage at the very start. It's fascinating because the way I would have summarized ZVP before this match is, I guess I have given the addendum a few times or giving the explanation, but that it's, assuming you're not SERRAL, you have a window in the mid game to do a big Roach Max or a Ravagerling or a Queen Walk or a Bane Bust all in with like surprise Queen Walk. Basically a variety of mid game attacks where you get queens across the map somehow to deal with the air units and you just try to overwhelm and get them before Storm's done preferably, or a Roach Max that hits soon after Storm's finished, but like, you know, they just don't have the numbers to deal with it. Super all-in attacks. Or you go to Lurkers and you try to get damage done early on with like your first 8 to 10 Lurkers and your range upgrade on them, because if you let them get Tempest out, you're screwed. SERRAL, it feels like, doesn't have to, he's not as restricted to that, like, that common kind of feeling that a lot of Zergs have. Oh, I got to do damage at this exact point in the game. And that makes it much more frustrating as a Protoss player, because there's definitely been a mode where you kind of just expect Zergs to play these like desperately all-in styles, and you're like, cool, I just got to stop the desperate all-ins. Like, that's DVP right now. No worries. You know, it's kind of chill when you really know your opponent is looking for a knockout punch somewhere in that middle stage, You're like, ah, it's 5 to 8 minutes is the danger zone. If I spot him going hive, it's before 10 minutes, you know, don't die to those, don't let those first lurkers in. But SERRAL, you know, it's so fascinating. He doesn't go for the Nidus in the main. He pops it on the outside, pops it on the other side, and he just rotates between those positions. And then he tries to throw Niduses in the main if he can, but he doesn't force it. And that's what's so fascinating about his style. He's much more about high percentage moves, even if they just give small advantages, rather than the lower percentage moves that have a knockout potential. And that just shows extreme confidence in a matchup when other players don't really have that confidence. And I'm sure if you ask SERRAL, he'd say this matchup is incredibly hard right now. I find it really stressful. It's really difficult. Because he tends to say that about late game and has for a very long time, where he's like, dude, late game's really hard. Like, you know, sometimes he makes it look like he's chilled out or effortless. I guarantee you it is not. He has to work so hard. He has like an immense checklist in his head in these late games of all of the different goals that he wants to achieve. And he's constantly reprioritizing in that checklist. What's at the top of the list? What's the most important thing? What's something I can wait on and I can push it down the list because this sort of set of circumstances happened and, you know, it's not as important right now. And that's kind of, you know, pro RTS in a nutshell, but it's just on a more complicated level when you go to endgame. I watch SERRAL like I watch Manet or something, not something to imitate when learning painting, but someday. Yeah, so something to aspire to. Yeah. But realistically, you know you'll never even be close. Yeah. SERRAL's not someone you directly copy, you draw inspiration, you know? And you go, that's amazing. And then you open up your Shin replay and copy his build. That's generally my approach. If I'm going to copy a top player, it's definitely not SERRAL. It's usually Shin, maybe Lambo. I'm like, Specifically because there's usually very clear advantages you're looking for with their builds, whereas SERRAL you could describe as a guy who just jumps into, like, he jumps off a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean and his strategy is to just tread water for 3 weeks and see what happens. Like, if you're not an insanely strong swimmer who has no fear of sharks, probably not a good idea. But SERRAL's just built different, you know? He's like, no, I can tread water for 3 weeks, it's fine. If I get thirsty, I'll drink my own pee. You're like, okay, that's kind of cry. It's kind of wild, mate. All right, if it works, it works. I do like the treading water example because it just, there's this willingness to chill in situations where most players would feel very uncomfortable and would just be like, you know, most people are comfortable throwing a punch in a certain situation, but just standing there and kind of waiting for the other person to throw a punch while slowly gaining position and focusing on your footwork and, you know, trying to pressure and feint and stuff. That's SERRAL. Beautiful spore trick there. Baits that second stasis trap. Doesn't get a single unit frozen. Both oracles very weak, but oh gosh. That's 11! Oh, it's 3-gate non-glaive adept. These are non-glaive adepts. Oh my gosh, he's only got 8 zerglings. Oh no, he's caught off guard. He's caught off guard. This is a weird timing. But there's only one oracle, actually. One of the oracles did die. I didn't even realize that. Ooh. But doesn't have enough things to fight. That spore's going to go down, which means the oracle could come in a bit later and kill the drones while the adepts are distracting elsewhere. Oh, great Evo block. He's going to cancel this shade. Remember, these adepts don't have glaives. If they get surrounded by lings, they'll get mauled, especially if the queens are there. It's not as big of a commitment as the big glaive adept one. Going stalkers behind it. Gonna get a queen. Nice cancel. Nice cancel. The lings and roaches were studying him, or they were following him, sorry. And he gets a queen and recalls it. I think that's a really good way to play it for Classic. And a great mix-up here where he's gone quick Templar Archives. He's got a very slow blink behind this, which means he can't really like do defensive blink micro now. He's also only got one Oracle, which is a bit awkward. But he's already making High Templar to gather energy, which is just so crazy. And SERRAL, who's been forced into a few roaches, is going to go Baneling Nest. Oh, he's playing double Evo Ravagerling Bane. So I think he might just do a big Ravagerling Bane roll, and I absolutely despise that strategy. Okay, a Hydra Den goes down. There we go. I like that. I think that's better. I was like, I just feel like the Protoss are so good at, like, you know, storming and spreading their units out against the Banes, and then like Ravagers just don't do any damage for their cost. But if you've got Hydras coming in, they do a lot more damage. Ooh, hello. Do we have Banes ready? No Banes just yet. Just going to shade forwards. By the way, I don't know if you guys... I didn't check the heart rate monitor in the later matches, but in the earlier matches in this tournament, SERRAL's heart rate was like 90. Everyone else's was like minimum 105, and during games, a lot of the times, they're like 130 to 140. So either is he heavily medicated, a biological freak, or was the heart rate monitor not attached properly is my question. I'm not sure if we ever had that question answered. Because if it was consistently like 90 the whole way through, I'm like, what? These Finnish guys are built different, man. I remember Rainier is at like 150 at one point. Like his heart rate was high. He was super pumped. He was exciting games, you know. It was crazy, man. He's getting a good surround. Oh, a lot of these adepts are going to go down. Good catch here for SERRAL. Oh, there we go. A couple of adepts do go down. Only one gets out. Damn. They would have been useful just tanking buffering units in a big fight. Throwing those away is a disaster for Classic. Look at his army now. How do you defend this fourth base? There are a few more roaches building. So he is playing Ravagerling Bane even while he's making Hydra upgrades. So I think SERRAL probably still needs to do an attack because he's sitting on just 78 workers. Does he know about the fourth? He does. Yeah, he's going to go for the cancel on it. There's an Oracle and a Cannon. I don't think that's enough to defend. Super worth trading some Lings for this. Those buildings will block a bit of surface area. Yeah, good choice to run away. Gets cancels on a few buildings. Doesn't want to throw all the Lings away. Not with an Oracle overhead. Stalker High Templar are there. Stalker High Templar coming forward. Watch out. It's the Stalker Storm timing that caught him out before, but Banelings are good against this. The High Templar saved into the Prism. Brilliant maneuver with the Prism. He's got to drop him. He's got to drop him. He needs more storms to cover his army, though. He's going to throw another storm. It's a decent one. Great storm on the Roach Ravager. Oh, but his Stalker's taking big damage, man. They do dodge the piles. He focuses the Ravagers. Classic. He blinks north to snipe one more Ravager, but that was not the play. No. No. I love, like, the focus fire of those Ravagers under pressure was good, but the last blink forward was not it. That was not it. Oh, no. Oh, that was a great fight for SERRAL. Now, this is the exact timing Classic has killed SERRAL with before. He's killed so many people with. So many Zergs have died to this. And what was so good there is the Banes and the Ravagers are so great at defending that. So this is why SERRAL was so safe. He was really ready for that follow-up attack, and he was going for a bit delayed Lurkers. He wasn't droning as hard initially. Now he's droning to late game. He's going to try and roll Banes into the third, I would imagine. There is an Oracle there and a Stalker. Oracle's going to see it. Classic's got to react quick. Oracle laser turns on. Stalker's warping in. Should be fine. Banes are going to go get one Stalker for 10 Banes, guys. Not a good trade for SERRAL. Prism rotates around the top left. No, you're going to get burnt! Just kidding, guys. That is a map feature on the edge of the map. For some reason, the platform we're on is farting a giant beam of energy. I don't know why. I don't know what the story is here behind Leyline. I guess there's a lot of magic on this map. It's called Leylines, but it's psionic energy. They got a psionic machine or something. Zealot drop's going to come in to distract. Don't want to lose it, though. Definitely don't want to lose it. There's not a lot of dead space to hide on this map, so I feel like these Hydras could have moved down and got him. Gonna get to the corner. I think you can hide from Hydras. I think a Queen can still hit you there. Okay, yeah, there we go. Now he's good. 2 Stargates and a Fleet Beacon on the way. Classic survives, man. He's on 4 base, going to 5. I actually don't like this base. The reason is I think it's more important to take the middle bases early and deny the middle bases of Zerg and really control the center. I think center control on ley lines makes this map very bad for Zerg in the late game. And that's why we see some urgency. SERRAL going for 5 Dropper Lords on the bottom right side. SERRAL's got a big lead in this game. 89 workers. Good Lurker spread up here. Really nice Lurker spread, in fact. Hard to get through that. Remember, not a lot of detection. There's 1 Observer, 1 Oracle. Tempests, though, have begun. Classic. I'd say he's getting to late game once again from behind a little bit, as opposed to their series in Dallas where he beat SERRAL, where he was often going into it a little ahead. But it's still a very playable position. It's just, has SERRAL worn down his confidence in late game? SERRAL starting his Spire transition, SERRAL's 6th base going up there, as well as the central base. Here we go, guys. He's got Lurkers, Roaches, and Lings. Big drop on this side. Same time, he's got a big attack in the top left that's starting to venture forward. Nice move here. But good micro with the Immortal Stalker, Zealot warp in, Cannons and High Templar on the left. Hard to push into this, dude. He doesn't know about that north central base either. So far, Classic's handling this with great play. Temper's going to deal with the Overseer as well. So no spotting for Nidus Worms later. Yeah, this is excellent. Excellent cleanup for Classic. But oh, Serral goes around the cannons. He goes around the cannons. He finds the third base. Classic. He's only got 3 Tempers out. Great Storm to start. He's got to keep these High Templar alive. Great babysitting, dude. Classic's micro has been so on point this whole tournament and just the last few months in general. Really good defense. He's got to keep those High Templar alive. But yeah, Serral has to back away. And Classic, despite getting caught off guard by that, he defends. But the Overlords are still there. Serral might go for round 2. And it would be such a bummer to get caught off by round 2. I think a cannon here, maybe build a pylon and cannon down there or something like that. Should Classic split his army at this point is also a question I'd like to ask. I think it's really good for him to go mow the lawn down here, clear up some vision. Get rid of this Overlord would be really good. Mothership's about to come out. Air weapons as well. No plasma shield upgrades just yet. Tectonic destabilizers coming in. That is the building damage upgrade for the Tempest. Sling's going to go for this third again. The Zealot Warp and blocking have been so good, man. Dude, he's playing so nicely. Lurkers getting stormed down. 2 of them do get popped. Another one's about to get popped. Another one goes down to a cannon. Dude, Classic. Really great defense for the Korean Protoss player. The Stalkers chase down those Lurkers as well. Dude, I'm so impressed with Classic today. Serral's not going to stop, though. He's going to have to do this dance for a long time. I think Classic needs to spread some cannons in the natural and third. It's just, this is not going to stop these waves of pressure. Yeah, it's going to be like really hard to establish this 6th base without things starting to break through. Great Spire's on the way. He's got Corruptors building right now as well as a Viper. So there's his first 6 Corruptors. I don't think there's a second Spire right now. Indeed, there is not. There is double Evo though, so the ground upgrades will not be forgotten this time, which means we're going to have +3 melee coming in. Adrenal's already done. Air Armor starts now in the Great Spire. Still more of a ground game for Serral. I remember Raynor played a fantastic ground late game on this map. I think it was against Classic in GSL. I can't remember who it was. Someone in GSL. He played a really good game. He ended up losing. It was a very good game. I think Serral's playing a bit more ground focus as well as the Mass Lurker drop gets in the main. 4 Lurkers behind the natural. Mass Lurker there. No recalls. His Mothership's on the other side of the map. Looks like he doesn't have too much energy there to recall into his main or natural. He's going to push forward. Classic's going to engage in a bit of a base trade. Lurker up top, though, will do good damage. Once it clears the cannons, it'll start taking out those workers. These drones are trapped behind the minerals. Zealots should be able to take care of those in a little bit. Lurker's clearing the main. There's important tech that's exposed. Forge and Templar Archives going down, not to mention a Nexus. Lings find this base as well. Oh, good pull away on the probes. Great a focus there from Classic. He needs to get home. He's got to recall some bloody units into this 3rd base or something, but he keeps on chronoing, which means he doesn't have recall energy. Classic, he's got to get back there. The Lings are in the 3rd. Oh no, he's avoided critical damage to this point, but not anymore. Now, losing an Nexus is bad, but losing 20 probes on top of it's extra bad. He's losing tech in the main as well. He's already lost the Templar Archives. Has he rebuilt it? No, he has not. His Twilight Council goes down. He can't rebuild the Templar Archives right now. That's a disaster. Yes, he's got 7 High Templar out, but that's one of the most important tech structures. He's going to have to rebuild his tech, but of course he's got bigger concerns because his Robo's about to die here. That is a disaster. Stargates are depowered, and there's another Lurker attack in the top left. Classic has to split this army. I talked about how when it comes to the ground game, the mobility, Serral is better at picking away these bases. I didn't expect him to do this much damage. I thought he'd just picking at the edges. He'd keep picking at the edges. But the mass drop got in here and actually did so much because we pointed this out in game 1. Classic likes to keep his whole army together and bully the Zerg. Serral purposefully said, I will refuse to fight you front on. I will wait for you to get your army out of position and I will punish you super hard. The first drop was defended really well. Classic had a chance to reinforce his position from there. Didn't quite do it. He didn't think there was another drop that would come in from that angle, and going for a mass Lurker drop, I think it was 5 Overlords, 10 Lurkers, that's a really tricky drop to deal with when your whole army's out of position. Lurkers breaking through in the north as well. Prism comes down, Corruptors find it. Oh, just no cigars at all. Nothing here for Classic. He's massively supply blocked. His income's toasted. He's on 42 probes, and feels like it's inevitable now with Serral not only being in a super advantaged position, but being the guy who's clearly favored in a lot of these late game scenarios as well. It's 2-0 for Serral. He's looking for the 3-0. Time Warp comes in. There's not that many Lurkers there. And the Lings have breached the natural again. The middle base goes down. Yes, there was a Lurker up here. It gets cleaned up, but I mean, there's too many fires to put out. There is too many fires to put out right now, and Classic has run out of fire extinguishers. He's already used the fire blanket, and now he's looking around his house, and he's throwing random flammable objects into the fire because he just doesn't have any other options. What else is he going to do, man? The tap's not working. It's run dry. And there's just, yeah. SERRAL right now is a mad lad. It's like a garden gnome that's come to life, kind of like a Chucky doll or something. You know, one of those like things where a puppet comes to life, and he's running around your house with a little can of petrol, and he's just lighting fires everywhere. He's got a big pack of matches. He's got an evil grin on his face, and Classic's belongings are not long for this world. Storm goes down. Lurker will get popped. 2 more Lurkers on the left. It's not going to stop. Infestor's on the way. Lurker's on the way. Corruptor's coming forward. SERRAL has put Classic in a terrible position in this group stage. And it looks like SERRAL is going to get revenge for Dallas. You know, a lot of people said to me, they're like, I can't believe you don't think Classic's going to win this tournament. He beat SERRAL at Dallas. And I said, you know, I think he struggles against Maru, but I also want to see him against SERRAL again, because I think he's so close to being favored against SERRAL in a lot of scenarios. But I need to see another series. I need to know what's going to happen when they rematch and when SERRAL adjusts and adapts. And I think we have the answer now. We'll see if Classic's got some surprises. Since this is a group stage match, maybe he's hidden builds. Maybe, you know, I don't know if I'm coping there as a Classic fan. Maybe he's keeping some builds hidden up his sleeve, because this is not an elimination match and he's so confident. He's happy to go to the losers bracket of the World Championship group stage. I can't imagine that's the case, but maybe. Storms go down. Tempest gets some good shots. Great Storms, but dude, the Lurkers obliterate the High Templar. And once they were gone, the Corruptors were going to fly in to finish it off. SERRAL gets the 3-0. A big, big statement made by SERRAL, showing he is still the king of the late game.